How's it going, everyone? My name is Trueunderdawg, and today I'm going to show you the most powerful attack in Guilty Gear Strive. And the good news is this attack is universal. Every character has access to this move, and it's called Dust. And I know what some of you might already be thinking, well, Underdog, that's just one button. It can't be that powerful. Au contraire. Thank goodness you're watching this video, because I'm going to teach you the ways of Dust. Because you see, one of the biggest mistakes a lot of new players make is thinking that Guilty Gear is a 4-button fighter, when in fact it's not. It uses 5 buttons, and one of those is Dust. And as mentioned earlier, that 5th button is very, very important. And that is why it's imperative that you watch this entire video. So for starters, let's just do standing dust. What does that do? Boom, look at that. It's an overhead. And depending on your character, it might have more or less range. Not every dust is the same. However, it will always hit overhead from a standing position. And that's a big deal because in 2D fighters like Guilty Gear, most players are going to be crouch blocking, especially beginners who are new to the game. So open them up with the overhead. But don't just tap it, okay? Use its full potential. Hold that bad boy down, and then once you land the move, I want you to hold up on the controller, and look at that, we're flying into the skies. Whoa, what is that? What's that for? I'll tell you what it's for, a damaging combo. Case in point, this combo right here, and this combo is not even optimized, but still, look how much damage I'm getting for a single overhead just because you were crouch blocking. For crying out loud, that's almost half health from a single combo. Once again, all because the opponent was crouching and you punished them for it. And to make things even better, you can cancel into dust after pokes, like say a crouching kick. This move hits low, they want to block low, boom, catch them with the overhead and get that combo started. And once you land a couple of those overheads, the opponent's going to be scared. They're going to start stand blocking, which means you get your knockdown into combos and setups, all that good stuff, because now they're scared to block low. Now with all that said, there is one downside to standing dust. It is very punishable on block, so it's a lot of damage if you land it, but if the opponent reacts to it or simply guesses right, they can actually punish you after blocking with a full combo of their own, so use it wisely. But how about this? What happens if I walk forward and press dust? Whoa, look at that! It's a throw, and throws are unblockable in Guilty Gear, baby. And with just 1 bar of meter, you can Roman cancel to extend combos. That's right, throws can start combos in Guilty Gear, and they're amazing. But what if you want to throw the opponent backwards? Well, just hold back and press dust, and look at that, and now you've thrown them behind you. So let's say, for example, you're cornered. I don't want to be in the corner, you get in the corner. Let's go backwards dust. Or let's say you have the opponent in the corner, but their defense is absolutely godlike. They're blocking everything, including your overhead. What do? Well, go for the unblockable. Throw them. They can't block that. And then if you have the bar available, make sure to Roman cancel that bad boy and get a combo started. Make your opponent regret the day they ever tried to block your mix-ups. Make them fear the dust button. And then if the opponent starts throwing you instead, then you can also use dust to break the throw. Just press forward and dust and throw at the same time the opponent throws you, and you will break the throw. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and do just that. Boom. I pressed forward or back and dust the moment that Soul went to throw me. And make sure that you press a direction to break the throw, because if you press dust by itself, you won't actually tech the throw. It has to be forward or back along with the dust button. So make sure to keep that in mind, because throws hurt a lot in this game by default, but then if the opponent has meter to burn, they can Roman cancel and the throws hurt even more. So understanding how to break throws is a very big deal in Guilty Gear Strive. And the good news is you can't throw the opponent unless you're really close to them, and I mean like close enough to smell their aftershave. You gotta be close enough for an Eskimo kiss, so as long as the opponent's not near you, a throw is not a threat, but once they get in really close, get ready to tech that throw. And if you've played other fighting games, then you likely know that jumping also avoids throws as well, and it's no different in Guilty Gear Strive. However, with that said, this game does have air throws, and it's done in the exact same manner, forward and dust or backwards and dust. And air throws are even more important in Guilty Gear Strive because this game lets you block from the air without having to do a just block, or in other words, approaching from the sky is going to be way more common. A lot of players are going to dash in, jump in all the time thinking you can't do anything about it. So for example, right now I'm going to tell Soul to dash in and then just hold block, and look at that, I couldn't air to air him. I'm going to try and anti-air him. Once again, still not going to work. He is holding a block. Oh my gosh, what do I do against this? Air throw. That's what you do. If the opponent loves to jump in and air dash all the time, use your air throws. They're very effective. And in fact, I want you to do one better. Go ahead and Roman cancel and get a combo started, because just like ground throws, a Roman cancel is a great way to make air throws hurt that much more. And you likely already guessed this, but air throws are broken the exact way that ground throws are broken. Just press forward or back along with the dust button. Are you starting to believe me when I said dust was the most powerful attack in the entire game? Well, hold on to your hats, because we're only about halfway done here. Next up, we have crouching dust, otherwise known as 2D in the Guilty Gear community. Once again, depending on your character, it could have more or less range, but it always hits low. And as mentioned earlier, you can cancel into dust from normal. So in this example, I'm going to do standing kick into crouching dust, and check it out. Boom, that's a combo. How about I special cancel for the cherry on top? And there you have it, a basic bread and butter combo. Or since I'm playing I know, how about a setup instead? I'm going to use crouching dust to go into my fireball setup, and look at that, they're forced to block on wake up. I can fly in and go for double overheads, triple overheads, fake overheads into the lows, all that amazing stuff. Put simply, crouching dust hits low, it's a great mix-up, and it leads into combos or pressure on knockdown. However, just like standing dust, crouching dust is unsafe on block, so do be careful when using it. But the good news is some characters have long range crouching dust, which means you can space them a bit better and they're harder to punish. And real quick, I do want to mention that crouching dust is not as equal as standing dust. The combos you get from this are pretty much the same for every character, but crouching dust is very different depending on who you're playing. Some characters can get really crazy combos off of crouching dust, and other characters get shorter combos, or you have characters like I know who are mostly using it for setup. So make sure to mess around in training mode, watch some guides, figure out how to best use your character's crouching dust. And then last but not least, we have the air dust, or jumping dust, or 9D, whatever you want to call it. You do dust from the air, and just like crouching dust, this attack is going to look different for every character. And the reason I saved air dust for last is because I think it's the most diverse in its utility. And what I mean is, depending on who you play, air dust will be used for an entirely different purpose. So for example, if you're playing somebody like Giovanna, who's great for beginners, her air dust hits twice, so it's a sneaky double overhead from the sky, and it's also fantastic for starting off combos. It has a ton of hit stun, it does great damage. I have an entire guide on Giovanna if you want to check that out. I think it's quite fantastic if I do say so myself. However, for I know, the air dust is actually a lot different. It doesn't hit twice, and it doesn't have that much hit stun. Instead, it's actually used for floating the opponent during air combos. So for example, right here, I'm going to launch the opponent, then Roman cancel and dash forward, and look at that. I've lifted the opponent into the air using my air dust. Put simply, I know's air dust is for extending combos when I already have my opponent in the air. If I did not use air dust, I would be a terrible I know player. She relies on it that much for combos. And like mentioned earlier, air dust is different for every character. Some characters can actually cross up with their dust from the air. I know, not so much. She doesn't really have that capacity, but it's still great in its own right. So once again, hop into training mode and see what your character can do with dust while jumping, and also watch some guides, watch some pro competition tournaments, all that good stuff. And that is about it for our sermon on the Book of Dust. Hopefully now you have joined the religion of Guilty Gear and you understand why the Prophet Dust is so important to our cause. It honestly is unbelievable how much a single button does in this game. It's great for extending combos, it's great for mix-ups, it's great for air juggles, all that amazing stuff. You can throw with it, you can break throws with it. Oh, it's so amazing. So once again, if you're new to Guilty Gear or just fighting games in general, do not ignore this button. Dust is by far the most important attack in the entire series. So make sure to take the knowledge I have given you and apply it in some online matches, or in story mode, or in the arcade. Make use of the incredible dust button. And if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, make sure to leave a like down below. It really does help my channel out a ton. And also make sure to share this video to help out more players who might be new to Guilty Gear. I really do want this to be the next big fighting game. So when you leave a like and share this video, that helps me and the game series out a ton. And finally, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell, that way you never miss any future videos. I plan on making a lot more guides. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs. And real quick, a word from today's sponsor. It's a chair that I personally use when I record and edit all of my videos.